Now, ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Justice John Charles Thomas, will speak.
Oh my goodness. To the class of 2024, to the rector and the board of visitors of the College of William & Mary in Virginia, to our chancellor, to our president, to the friends and families of this class that has distinguished itself so powerfully over these last 4 years. I'm proud to be a part of this. I saw this resilient and adaptive class 4 years ago on the early days of their coming to the College of William & Mary in Virginia, and I talked to them at that time about being builders for the rest of their lives. I want to talk more about that today, but I want to talk about the nature of this place where they have been in school this time and what they have been learning just by being in this powerful place. Many of you have heard that the College of William & Mary is called the Alma Mater of the nation. It is the only school of higher education in our country that has a royal charter. The King and Queen of England, William and Mary, in the 1600s, said that they wanted to have a perpetual college of the liberal arts and other good sciences here for all time coming on the banks of the York River in Virginia. And so they set up this college, and I have often thought, what must King George III have thought? What must he have thought when he saw that there was discord and turmoil and anger in the American colonies? He had to have sat there and said, I know one thing, I might not be able to count on North Carolina, I might not be able to count on Massachusetts, but I bet you I can count on Virginia, because we done put a royal college there. But an odd thing happened. The Royal College became the very seat of the intellectual discussions that led to the American Revolution, which is why we're the alma mater of the nation. The transformation that occurred at the college is the thing that I want you to understand fully that you are a part of. But look what they did. They set up a college, a perpetual college of learning of the liberal arts. Now, some of y'all have heard me talk about the liberal arts before, and one of the things I've described to you is that the liberal arts have nothing to do with liberal and conservative in the political sphere. The liberal arts basically are the skills of freedom. They are the ars liberalis. And so the King and Queen of England set up a school in Virginia to teach the students here about the skills of freedom. And I want to tell you that if you follow the mission of learning of the skills of freedom, learning to think well and write well and speak well, which all of you have done, you will find that freedom is the opposite of authoritarianism. And so if you really learn about being free, you decide, I'd rather not have a king and queen. And so that message that comes from the very bricks and mortars is what you've been learning while you were here. And so I depend on this class, not just the undergraduates, but the graduates who have studied here too, that when you leave this place and go out into the world, that you will understand that with the skills of freedom, you are meant to be builders of the best that America can be. Now, when we look back in time, we can see that the founding generation got some things right. They were very intentional when they were writing the Declaration of Independence and the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom. If you read about them, and some of y'all history majors, I know you've done this, they looked at the governments in the world history that had failed, and they paid attention to why those governments had failed, and so they decided that one of the things you had to do to have a long-standing government was to share power. And that's how we came up with the division of powers that we created in this new nation. They were smart. They got some things right, but they didn't get everything right. They said things like all men are created equal, and then you know from the Hamilton play that one of the Schuyler sisters said, no, when I see this Jefferson, I'm going to get him to include women too. They got some things right, but they had no idea that a woman could be the president of the College of William and Mary in Virginia. They got many things right, but they had no idea that a person of color could be the president of the United States of America. They got a whole lot of things right, but they never thought that a member of the native tribes of America could be in the cabinet of a president of the United States and run a powerful office of government. They didn't get it all right. And so what I want to say to you is that when you deal with history, what I want you to do is not be overawed by it. Don't be hamstrung by it. Don't be worshipful of history. Look at it, learn from it, take the best that they had, and build the better world that we are called upon to do. And that's what I'm going to depend on you to do. Now, another thing that you were taught while you were here, some of the lessons that we get, they come easy. Some of them float on the wind like they are songs. And one of the things that all of y'all have heard, undergraduate or not, you heard the Alma Mater, because almost everywhere we go, we sing the Alma Mater at the College of William and Mary in Virginia. And there's a line in the Alma Mater that says, "Hark upon the gale." And many people think it's just a pretty line to build out a rhyme scheme and a beautiful alma mater that is so lovely to hear. But I want to tell you that every time you heard "Hark upon the gale," they were telling you something. The ancients were telling you something that you better learn and pay attention to. Because a gale is a storm at sea that has winds greater than 60 miles an hour. If you ever found yourself in a gale, you would be terrified. If you were in a gale, you would be running. If you were in a gale, you would batten down the hatches, you would furl the sails, you would seek a quiet cove to stow into. You would be running for your life if you were in a gale. But what did the writer of the Alma Mater say? He says, "Hark upon the gale." Hark means pay attention. Hark means heed what's going on. Now, in my time, I used to watch the America's Cup sailing races, and I learned that the captains of the sailing vessels, when they were trying to get a little more speed than their competitors, would stand on the deck. And they would put their finger in the wind to see which way the wind is blowing. And they would look at the current that was running up beside the ship to see which way that was going. And they would look at the sails to see which way they were flapping. And they figured that if they paid attention to all the elements and forces that were acting upon their boat, they might be able to find out a way that gave them just a little more speed. And what I'm saying to you here at the College of William and Mary in Virginia is that if you hark upon the gale, if you pay attention while everybody is running, when everybody is screaming and yelling, when everybody is at each other's throat, if you pay attention, if you hark upon the gale, you might be the one to see the course that will set the nation straight. You might be the one that would see the lesson that will tell our children how to be the best they can be in school. You might be the one to change everything about how we live in America if you just pay attention to the things that are going on around you. And so William and Mary, William and Mary is a story of transformation. William and Mary is a story of possibilities. William and Mary is a place where you can come and change yourself and change your worldview and get ready and go out and change the world itself. So if you can embody all the things you've learned here, if you can embody the talks and discussions you had among your classmates, if you can bring to heart all the things that you've seen, the books that you've read, the trips that you've been on, the labs that you've been in, if you can make that part of you, and if you can keep it inside your soul, if you can keep your head while all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and miss it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose, and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your time long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will that says to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or talk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, then yours is the world and everything that's within it, and the promise of William and Mary will not be undone. Hark upon the gale.